morning. This is Wednesday, the 26th of August, and it's a great day. Sun is shining, there's a little breeze blowing out there. It's going to be warm, but it's August in Kansas. I was in a meeting yesterday via Zoom with local clergy, Episcopal clergy. And, of course, the major topic of conversation was how each of us and our congregations are responding to the pandemic. I think right now that St. Stephen's and maybe Good Shepherd are the only two congregations offering in-person worship. Others are doing things online or live streaming or trying to find ways to communicate the gospel with people long distance, and that's not easy. And we talked about many different ways, and we're kind of floundering around looking for solutions to problems that didn't exist only a few months ago, and which we thought we'd never have to deal with in the church. How do we do, or can we do, virtual sacraments? Although I think the Roman Catholic Church kind of outlawed those 15 years or so ago. Have to look. How do we deal with a new theology of worship and liturgy? How do we deal with the fear that seems to surround so many of us concerning COVID-19? St. Stephen's is trying to find ways to worship in person, but using the guidelines and limitations imposed by the state, local governments, and the diocese. And so if you'll remember, while we have in-person service, we're limiting the number of people who can come. And I think it's somewhere around 35 or 40 total with social distancing. And we're asking people to call ahead and make a reservation or sign in when you get here so that we can try to maintain our numbers. And just in the off chance that somebody in the future tests positive with COVID, we have a list of people who are around, and the health department can do their contact tracing. I think that's just a good policy. Remember, as we continue forward in our in-person worship, that things that stay in place are the social distancing, the wearing of face masks, the use of hand sanitizer and washing your hands frequently, communion in one kind only, and limitations on vocal music. Although we are looking for a way, and we hope to communicate with the bishop about the possibility of at least being able to use a soloist or a duet from time to time to add a little more deeper dimension to our worship service. We've also ordered equipment to enhance our live streaming capabilities to reach out to people who are not ready to return to church yet, or who can't because of their physical limitations or health issues. They'll still be able to join us and be part of the community, and we're moving forward on that as well. The other thing now that we're working on and struggling with, and I'm going to meet with some people today and again next week when the entire planning staff gets together, about Sunday school and nursery. And this is being brought to us by the parents of children who are in Sunday school or nursery. They still want that Christian experience of community that they find at St. Stephen's. And so we're trying to figure out how we can do that and maintain a sense of safety that we've been doing. And so we'll see what we can do and what we can work out. Again, this will be, based on limited numbers, social distancing, good hand cleaning technique, mask wearing, all of those things. But we're hopeful we can find a way to do this. Other things we're going to be looking at in the next few days and planning the schedule between here and Christmas. We're looking at blessing of the pets on the Feast of St. Francis, which is October the 4th. We're looking for an outdoor service here in September. We're looking at All Saints Day, which this year falls on Sunday, which is great. And what can we do to celebrate All Saints Day Sunday? How do we do that? Thanksgiving. I'm planning on having a service of Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving the day before, on Wednesday, probably about noontime. So hopefully you'll come and join us and give thanks for the blessings God has bestowed upon us in so many ways. St. Nicholas falls on a Sunday this year, so we'll be doing St. Nicholas again, and with the children, we hope. Of course, there's Christmas, and one of the things I would like to do, if we don't have a new rector by the 1st of January, is a New Year's Day service around 10 o'clock in the morning, something like that. But on the church calendar, it's called the Feast of the Holy Name. And so, we hope that it's a good way to start the year off. So we're planning these things. We're looking forward to these things. We're finding ways to minister and to make life ongoing in the midst of our crisis. We'll see. All of this, of course, exist under the umbrella of care and concern. If we see incidents of active cases begin to spike and go way up in the community, if we see it becoming more widespread in many places, then of course we'll have to sit back and rethink what we're doing, and we will. What else? I believe I got a note from Dale Graham yesterday that the Parish Profile is finished and will be published soon, so watch for that in some manner. And with that, I think it will probably go out to the Office of Transition Ministries for nationwide publication. The vestry and the search committee will set dates for when nominations for the next director will open and dates for when they will close. As the nominations come in, they will be reviewed, sorted, evaluated, all that stuff, and in any number of ways, at any number of different levels. And at some point, hopefully, we'll come down to a slate of 3, 4, 5 possible candidates that the vestry gets to pick from and to select your new rector. So we pray for that day, and we pray that we will continue to operate under the guidance of the Divine Spirit and hear the whisperings of God and lead us to the right person. The third thing I want to touch on only briefly is that when I started off as interim rector last October, we were in the midst of our annual Stewardship Campaign. And while this is the latter part of August, we're beginning to think about that again. And I want you to think about that too. You have been extremely generous in supporting the parish through this year of pandemic. You have been extremely generous in keeping up with your pledges and supporting the fabric of this parish. I am so pleased with the parish that the vestry that early on adopted the policy of if we could do it, we would keep all of our paid employees on salary for the year, and we have been able to do that, and I think that's been a blessing to them, and I think it's a tribute to the generosity of the congregation. But all I'm asking you to do now is to think about your financial commitment to the parish for next year, and realize that, operating a church the size of St. Stephen's is not cheap. If you want to put it in round figures, if we wanted to increase the budget a little bit, I would say it would probably cost us $1,000 a day every day of the year in 2021 to maintain the ministry of this parish. And if you wanted more ministry, wider reaching ministry, outreach ministries, things like that, then it may cost more. That's the way it is these days, I'm afraid. I'm working with the Bishop of Western Kansas in a couple of placements, and we're going to work here with the new rector and what it costs to support a new rector. And that's generally more than most people think. So just put that on the back burner, let it simmer, do some thinking about your support, praying about your support. And later this fall, in October maybe, when we have an active stewardship campaign, you'll be ready to support the parish in the most generous way that you can, and leading to enhanced and greater ministry of this parish. So those are just some of the issues and thoughts out there this morning. There's always a lot going on. We live in interesting times. Sometimes I think a little too interesting, but those are the days that we have, and these are the times that we exist in, and I would urge you to, if you're involved in an active prayer life, maybe add a little more to that. If you don't have an active prayer life of some sort, maybe now is a good time to think about creating one. It's not hard. Sit down somewhere and say, God, I want to talk to you. Or you can get a prayer book, and there's just all kinds of prayers in a prayer book to use. So, I think as we go forward on our day-to-day life these days, we find ourselves being driven back to the church. We find ourselves wanting the community again. We find ourselves wanting to be in God's presence and each other's presence. And we'll try to find ways to do that. But we'll try to find ways to do it safely, humanely, caring about the well-being of each other. And so we will pray together. We will worship together. We will study together. We'll also wear our masks together. We will separate together. We will scrub our hands together. we will go through a lot of hand sanitizer together. And we hope that all will be well. And so hope all is well with you this beautiful summer day. Have a great one. God bless.